There is indeed a network for consciousness, a network composed of ascended masters, Agarthans, our Earth allies, and the Galactic Federation of Light have come together to return you to full consciousness. Now, let's look at making the new you. Let's look at the materials we've looked at before, and let's add new information to it. So let's start off. First of all, limited consciousness. How did it all happen? The Atlanteans, roughly about 14 millennia ago, the Atlanteans first lowered our body frequency from above 13 hertz to just below 8 hertz. For the most part, it was around 7.8. Next, the primal epigenetic mask was put over us, inserting above our main gene sequencing programs. This maintained our limited consciousness. What we are doing when we go into the light chambers is we are removing this epigenetic mask, and we're replacing it with a epigenetic format which returns all our gene sequencing to where it's supposed to be, including all those about roughly 70–80% of all our genetics, which are roughly inactive now, but as geneticists have been discovering over the last nearly 30 years, all of that material is coming alive because we are about ready to make that big leap. And so what we need is just the chambers to adjust each one of us, because each one of us, even though we're at a certain frequency just below 13 hertz, which is when we switch over, each and every one of us still has a specific frequency. And because of that, and it may be measured in nanohertz or whatever that difference is, it has to be taken into account so that when we get switched, everything switches and sequences in a proper method. To do that by yourself takes generations, as all the Ascendant Masters can tell you. It's not an easy task, and we can no longer have the time frame to slowly, very slowly, get all of us up to this higher frequency and to the right level when we actually reach the transformational point and become fully conscious beings again. Now, another part that they did was they put in a special epigenetic sequencing that was introduced for aging and death. Finally, certain changes in the epigenetics of individuals were allowed. Thus, all the episodes based on great fear and frustration will then be put into our epigenetic programming, which maintains the control. All that the Atlanteans were doing was to create a race of beings that could be their servants and not be greater than that. So they were using this as a screen to keep us from becoming what we were capable of being. All of that is going to be removed. When you're a fully conscious being, you do not age. This is something that people have been discovering, is that the aging genetic sequencing is very strong in our body, and as one geneticist said, if we could learn how to turn that off or change the sequencing, we would not ever age. And so that's just another sign that what they have been telling me is correct.